What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another day in Car Mechanic Simulator with me, the Virtual Mechanic, and the final Aston Martin from the Aston Martin DLC, the Aston Martin Vantage 2019, just under 30,000 kilometers on this one. Not bad condition at all, pretty decent if I'm being truly honest. Did we get a good deal? We did for a change. 93,865 is what we paid for this one, and I could sell it right now for 117,867, making a profit of 24,002. That's actually amazing. Hopefully that'll stick around for the rest of this build. It does have the V8 M177 twin turbo, the rear wheel drive variant of that engine to go in the Vantage. 503 factory horsepower from the word go, and it is looking incredible. Very similar to that other engine you saw the other day, so it will probably look somewhat similar when we build it. And also you've got that lovely little logo on there, hand built in England, final inspection by Evanor. Well done, Evanor, you did a great job. This engine looks fantastic. Are you going to give it a full inspection once I've finished taking it apart and putting it all back together? We shall see. Probably not, but the badge will definitely go back on there. This is looking awesome. Let's get it started, though. Let's get over to the car wash, and let's get this one cleaned up. Here we are, then, in the car wash with our lovely green Vantage. It won't be staying that green. I'm pretty confident of that. It's a nice green, but not what we're after today. So let's get the bodywork all cleaned, all matching, all looking very nice. So it shouldn't be too bad. Then let's get this interior done. Get it back on the lift and get that beast of a twin-turbo V8 ripped out. Is it going to sound any different to the one in the DBX? I certainly hope it does a little bit. I'm hoping this one's a little bit more powerful. But let's get it on the lift. Let's get it started. First things first, let's check for that oil pan. That is there, so let's get that all drained out. Only 30,000 kilometers on this one, so this should be relatively clean. Yeah, it is. Very clean in there, and quite a bit of it still going. There we go. Let's get you put away, and let's start getting this engine ripped out. We'll start with these lovely exhaust sections that do fit in absolutely beautifully. And that lovely dog barking just outside that's really starting to wind me up today. There we go. Anyway, out with that drive shaft. Onto the gearbox. Let's get that starter out. You come. One rusty bolt there. Not too bad at all. And then here we go with the big old gearbox and all of the bolts on this one today. So let's get you out. Lots and lots of them. Come on, you can do it. Wow, that is a lot of bolts for a gearbox. There we go. Last one out there. I think that's probably everything we need to get out for the engine. So let's get it back on the ground and try and lift that one out and see what happens. It is going to ask me to remove the engine cover. I do know that. I remember that from the other one. So we'll go in and we'll grab that. It's only little on that one. Just that tiny little space there. Let's see if that's enough. Yes. Yes, it is. Fantastic. Out you come. Let's check out this engine bay. In fact, let's just get these big air intakes out the way. Or air ducts, whatever you want to call them. So we've got one lovely angled fan just there. Another radiator sat there. And another one that sat there. So 3 radiators, one with the fan housing kit. Then we've got the coolant reservoir, the wishy-washy reservoir, the power steering reservoir, and the brake servo up there. Do we have anything else? There's a fuse box and an ECU here. Get the lid off that fuse box now, just so you can see lots of fuses inside. And then we've got the battery down the back, along with the fuel pump and fuel tank. We'll grab that fuel pump there. In fact, we'll grab the battery out while we're down here. We'll go back up, and it's time to drain some liquids. So we need this one, this one, this one, and this one all drained. Right-click, additional tools, drain tools. Click and hold on the lid, and I will be back in just a couple of moments. There we go. That's the liquids all drained. Let's start ripping this out. Out with the reservoirs. Out you come, and out with that brake servo. We'll grab these radiators while we're here. 1, 2. There's the ABS pumper module. I figured that would be somewhere. Out you come, out you come. And let's just get you stripped out before I forget you again. There we go. One little rusty bolt on you as well in your lovely little hiding place. Out we come, out you go. What else have we got then? Just the ECU and the fuse box. I'll double check. I believe so. Was everything else in there? Yeah, we did that. I got that engine cover out. We got the vents out. That's fine. Okay. Let's move on and check out this suspension. We'll get this front wheel off. Out you come. Again, all 4 wheels are on, so we know we're relatively all right with things. We got both rubber bushings there. We got the sway bar end link, the inner and outer tie rod, and the hubcap and the bearing there is a double wishbone. A nice little upright shock on there as well. Over to the other side, we have the inner and outer tie rod, the hubcap, the bearing, the sway bar end link, and both the bushings. That's all looking complete there. Let's jump down the back and see what we've got. 2 rusty bolts on this lovely Aston Martin wheel. But again, the wheel is attached, so that is always a good sign. And I can see there is 1 rubber bushing already there. Rubber bushings in the actual framework. Nicely done. All of the arms, 3 round to this side and 4. Whole spring cap, and then obviously the shock on there with the sway bar end link. This side's all complete. Let's just have a quick double check on the other side. Sway bar end link, all the shock and suspension there, all of the arms, and all of the bushings. This is pretty complete, which is fantastic. Hopefully it means I should be able to repair a lot of these, but I'm going to get this fuse box out, get all the suspension stripped off, get that engine tore down, and then we'll work on this lovely Vantage's bodywork. That's everything upgraded, replaced, or repaired, ready to go back on our beautiful little Vantage. But we need to get this body stripped off. Now, the thing I was meant to point out last time that I got horribly wrong is you can't take the headlights out without taking the bumper out. French Toast pointed out in the comments. Thank you very much. But yes, you can't take the headlights out without taking the bumper off. So bumper off, then the headlights will come out nice and easy. Doesn't matter which order you do it in, but the bumper has to come off before the headlights. Little quarter panels down here on the front fenders, whatever you want to call them, looking pretty good. Out with that windshield, out with the door, the wing mirror, and the window there. Out with the body window. Any bumpers, fenders, side skirts, anything down here? Doesn't look like it. No, no, no. Out with the rear bumper, out with the light and the trunk and window. Yeah, trunk and window. Grab the other lights. Anything else? Another little body window there. Door and all of that jazz. That looks to be all of it. Did I grab the body window from the other side? I know I have a habit of forgetting that. I did not. Let's grab these seats out then. Out you come. Nice Vantage seats. Lovely branding on them. They look awesome. And the lovely steering wheel there. Out you come as well. That's all of that out. Let's check if we got everything. 1%. That is a good sign. Yes, that is everything out. Absolutely fantastic. Let's go and grab the welder. Get the frame all sorted. Now, I spent a little under 100,000 on the car. And the frame is about 69%. So I'm going to say 1,800. 1,500. Not far off, though. Not far off at all. Let's jump into the shop. No tuning options, as you can see, for the Vantage. But if we go into the bodywork, you've got a lovely array of all of the parts there. It is all just one for one, like for like. Whatever you take off does have to go back on. Them headlights look incredible in there. Much better than they do on the body, but never mind. Let's get this put away. I'm going to get everything repaired that I can. Probably by the windows and lights and things like that, and get everything else back in. Then we'll get it all back together before we head over to the paint shop to see what we're going to do with this one today. That's all that sorted out. Let's get it all back onto the beautiful Vantage. We're going to start with the interior. In you go with your beautiful seats. Brand new. Had to buy replacements to go in it, but they look absolutely incredible. Really pleased with them seats. They look awesome. And also, I love this little detail in here. But let's get the rest of this body all back together. We'll go in with the hood. We'll go in with them lights. Oh, they do look pretty cool. It's just hard to see it sometimes. Yeah, they do look pretty awesome. On with the front bumper. Let's move around. I did have to buy the windows and the mirrors. Not mirrors, and the lights, sorry. So let's get you all back together. The mirrors themselves should actually match up still. There we go. I think all of the painted bodywork is going back on in that green. I managed to repair all of it, which is fantastic. Let's just get it all in. Make our way back around. In with the body window. On with the door. Window and mirror. In you go. In you go. And on you go. That should be everything. Let's just get the plates on. I've just gone for my VM plates with Vantage written on them. There we go. Looking awesome. Down to the back. And there we go. We got that one on there as well. Now, that should be everything. Let's just double check it. 100%, 100%, 100%. Absolutely fantastic. Let's get this over to the paint shop and see what we're going to do with this today. I'm going to stick probably with that green, as you've got some elements on the inside there. Here we are then in the paint shop with our beautiful Aston Martin Vantage. Let's check out the liveries we have for today. Slot number 1, we have that yellowy green sort of colour on a stripe. Doesn't go around the grille this time, which is a bit of a shame. But it does do the mirrors stripe and that rear diffuser. That looks pretty good. But I don't like the circle on the door, if I'm being honest. Just don't like that at all. Not my cup of tea. So let's have a look. What have we got in slot number 2? Black mirrors. Slot number 2 is just black mirrors. That's all I can see. Let's just change back. That stays black. That all stays as it is. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Anything on the sides? The dot into the black mirrors. No, no, no. Just check the front into nothing. And onto black mirrors. Okay, so slot number 2 is just black mirrors. I definitely kind of want to go with this. But what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to come out. I'm going to change it a little bit. I'm definitely going to get rid of these. I do not like the white dots on the door. But the rest of that's looking pretty awesome. Obviously not going to stay in this green. Maybe a green, but I'm not sure. So I'm going to go and make that livery real quick, or amend this livery real quick. And I'll be back in just a few moments. That was very quick. Look, as you can see, no more white circles on the door. It's the only thing I didn't like about this livery, or a lot of the liveries, is I just don't like the circle on the door. It's too racing, and I'm not building a racing car here, but I still like that yellow stripe. Matches what you've got going on in the interior there. Looking pretty sweet. And I already know which color I'm going to go with as well. There she is. Lovely pearl British racing green there with that yellow off green stripe going down the center. That is looking awesome. I am very, very happy with that. That's what's going on the car. Let's just get it on. There we go. I'm going to match up this yellow, get a few pieces painted, and decide what I'm going to do with that beautiful engine and suspension. Obviously, there will be a splash of this green in there and a lot of, or not a lot, maybe a splash of this yellow as well. We shall see what we're going to do with the rest of it. Probably some chrome blacks, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Maybe we'll just leave it all silver. We shall see. I'll be back in a little while. We'll get the assembly back together started. We'll get the assembly started with getting the suspension back together. That is the words I was looking for. There we go. There it is. Looking absolutely incredible. I shall see you back on the lifter in a few moments. That's everything painted. Time to jump back into reassembly, or jump into reassembly, should I say. Let's get these shocks on. We've got the racing green shocks with some red springs. There is a splash of red on this car in the engine and in the suspension, but not a lot at all. Let's go in and let's see what we've got going on then. So the main central cross member is in that yellowy green color, whatever you want to call it. I keep trying to angle myself better, but there's a radiator in the way, so I cannot. We'll go around this side. We'll get the rubber bushings in, so you're on. There we go. Then the lower and upper suspension arms are both in that racing green. Oh, sorry, no, the lower arms are in the racing green. The upper arms are in that yellowy color, looking pretty sweet. Happy with that. Just enough the splashes around, sort of keep you in mind of what's going on with the color scheme here. Then obviously we got the shock. You've seen that in the racing green and the red. Looking pretty sweet. You got the greens and the yellows there. We're going to call them yellows because we've got green as a main color. Brake caliper in that yellow, looking awesome. Very pleased with that. And then we've also got the hubcap in that yellow as well, just because, well, because it looks awesome. So we got the racing green, a bit of the yellow, and a splash of red just for good measure. Let's jump down the back and see what we've got going on down here. Main cross member, again in that yellow. To keep it tied in with the front there. Let's just get these bushings in and also this sway bar in. There you go. And there you go up there. Nicely done. And we'll throw the sway bar end link in while we're here as well. On you go. Nice. Now, all of these arms in the middle are all in that British Racing green. They look absolutely incredible. I'm very pleased with them. So let's just get those on and move on to the next part. On you go. Looking good. And then down here, on you go as well. Looking good. Oh, missed the click. On you go. Bolt that one up. Nice and easy. We'll go back around. Spring cap in the racing green just to sort of blend in with the front there, with the spring also in the red. Keep it in touch. Looking pretty sweet. We'll get this drive axle in just because we can. On you go. And then we've got the rear shock also in that racing green to match the racing green of the front rear shock. And then this main arm coming off the side in that yellow just for a splash more of that. That's looking pretty sweet. In with the rubber bushing. On you go. And then we'll move over to here. And we'll get the brake caliper on in that lovely yellow. Look at that. That looks incredible. Very, very pleased with that. That is looking absolutely awesome. Let's move around. Let's throw the rear muffler in. On you go. The fuel tank in. Can I get above it to try and... There we go. Get that fuel pump. Nice. Bit harder than I anticipated. We'll move back around. I'll get the rest of the exhaust in. Words are eluding me. There we go. And then we'll get the rest of this filled up. And then we'll go and check out what we've got going on the engine bay before we go and build that beautiful twin turbo V8. I'll see you in just a moment. There you go, the suspension all finished in mostly this yellow, or greeny yellow as it turns out, with a splash of the racing green on a few parts there, along with a little splash of red, just for good measure. I think it looks pretty sweet, but let's move on to the engine bay. Up we go. In fact, first thing we're going to do is going to jump down the back and throw that battery in. On you go. And let's jump back up to the front. Let's get this brake servo in. Let's move around a little bit. So we've got the power steering reservoir, the wishy-washy reservoir, and also the radiator just down in the corner there, looking sweet. We'll get the other radiator in the other corner. We'll get the coolant reservoir in, and apparently a floating engine cover. We won't put that in, quite obviously. ECU in up there, on you go, and then the radiator and the radiator fan housing kit, on you go. 1, 2, 3. Looking nice. ABS pump, and then swing around to the other side, and we'll get the ABS module on as well. There you go. On you go. Nice and easy. Sweet. What else have we got? Just that engine cover and this fuse box. The fuse box is in a sort of yellowy off-green colour to match with the rest of that. That's looking a pretty sweet. Just double check I have got everything apart from that engine cover, obviously. There we go. Right, I'll get on and get this fuse box all finished off. Again, I've made it really hard for myself to see, but we'll get all of these in. Then we're going to go build that beautiful V8 engine. I will already have the block and the pistons done. Don't forget about all of the little shoes that need to go on that one. And I'll see you in there in just a minute. There you go. Main block on in a lovely green colour, looking absolutely fantastic. All the pistons are in. What I was saying is don't forget about is all of the cam gears and timing shoes you've got up here. You can't forget about these because they are fiddly to get in from anywhere else. And plus, you can't build certain bits until this is all done. That's the engine head. That's the chain. We'll get the chain on. Then we've got another cam gear down here and also the oil pump. Another timing shoe. There you go. And then there's another one just down here as well. There you go. Nice and easy. Once you've done all of that, then you can put the oil pan on. These lovely crankshaft seals, both front and back. Oh, sorry, the back one goes on after the pan's on. So I'll just throw this one on, and then I'll get the oil pan all in as well. And then I'll get the other one on, and we will join back up. There you go, oil pan in, and then just the last bits of that seal going in. Obviously, just the flywheel and the clutch stuff left to go there. And then we can get this one rotated and get on with finishing up this beautiful top end. Last piece, there we go. Let's get this one the right way around and start throwing a few of these bits on down here. On you go. The AC compressor can't be painted, which is a bit of a shame, but it's not quite the same chrome as, say, the alternator, which is a bit unfortunate. Would have looked a lot better if we could have painted that one in a green or the yellow, but we will just crack on. We'll get that water pump in, quite a big one with lots of bolts. There you go, nice and easy. Can we actually finish off this front end from here without putting anything else on? I'm not sure if we can. We could if we could. Oh, if I could press the right places. There we go. My mouse is being a bit funny. On you go. Should be another belt and then another belt tensioner. Yes, there is. There we go. Awesome. So we can get all the front end done. The oil filter down here, just done that one in a green to match up a little bit. And we should have a floating fuel filter up here. On you go. There we go. That's the main basis of this engine complete. Let's get one of the heads on. On you go. You can see the art in the green, but if you saw the DBX, which is the same engine, just specifically for the DBX, it only paints these little bits in here green. And if you just squeeze underneath there, you can just about see a couple of little bits of that greeny yellow poking through there. Anyway, get this one all bolted up. There we go. Now, camshafts. You've got camshaft A, camshaft B, and on this one, camshaft C and camshaft D over there. Then you've got to throw some cam gears on you go, and on you go. Then we can get this engine head cover on in a very light green it looks, but it does match the block there, as you can see, looking pretty sweet. I'll get this one all bolted up. I'll get all of the spark plugs, which go in these little holes here, done. The VVL, or whatever they're called, controllers on. Then the fuel rail as well. So we'll see where we end up in just a moment. There you go. All the spark plugs are in, hence why I've got the ignition coils showing up now. Let's get the fuel rail in. That is in that yellowy colour, looking awesome. High pressure fuel injector pump. I've done that one in a red, just for the splash of red we've got going on. There is a little bit more red in here anyway, plus the fuel filter. So we shall crack on from there. On with that exhaust manifold, in you go. And then obviously we need to get all of these ignition coils in. Let's get you all in. On you go, on you go, and on you go. Then the oil fill tube in that yellow-ish. It's hard to get that to match a colour well. It's a lot darker. It's a plastic piece. Anyway, on with the timing chain. On you go. Then we've got a shoe. Oh, my God. Then we've got a shoe up here. And then a couple more shoes just down here as well. In you go, and in you go. Nicely done. And then a lovely little timing cover just down there. And also timing covers. Speaking of timing covers, before I forget, you need to put these back ones on here. They're really annoying because I've forgotten about them. Building this 3 times already. Not this one, obviously the other engine as well. Timing cover A on the front. I have done that one in a yellowish colour, but it's got a funny material to it. So it doesn't sort of look the same. It is the same though. It's just a bit darker. Then obviously we've got the turbo on there on Yugo. And we can fill out the rest of this stuff here. So I'm just going to do one side and then I'll get on and finish the other side. Intake manifold, air filter, and then we've got the intake manifold cover. I'm going to call it on there. They can't be painted at all. They are just in that horrible plasticky colour, which I really don't like. But there we go. On around a little bit more, we've got a big old intercooler. That's got a lot of red on it as well, as I was saying. Looking pretty sweet. Underneath here, we've got a throttle. We've done that one in the yellow. And then just down here, we've got an intake manifold E in that red. Not painted. That is just the colour this piece comes in. But it fits pretty well with our sort of green, yellow, and red build there. Looking pretty sweet. I'm very happy with that. I'm going to crack on and get the other side done. I think the rest of this is all finished off. If I find anything else, I will pop back and grab you. There we go then. Just a couple more pieces to go. Obviously, one, let's not forget the timing covers down the back here, which I did nearly forget then. There we go. Then we've got the oil dipstick tube in Yugo. I have done that one in the red just to sort of add a splash more in there, just for good measure. And then the engine cover is in that yellow colour, because why wouldn't you? That looks absolutely insane. I think that's that engine all finished off. Pretty confident it is. I'm going to go and grab some pictures and then we'll get it dropped in the Vantage. Get this one all finished off. That's that twin turbo V8 all finished, ready to be dropped in the Vantage. Let's go get it in and see if I manage to do these colours any justice at all. In you go, in you go. Let's get you put away and then we'll take a look. That's not looking bad. I'm quite pleased with that. The yellow might be a little bit off, a bit too much green in there, I'd say, maybe. Not too bad, but still looks pretty good. And then obviously you got the British Racing green on the side that perfectly matches there. And again, on the body, it's just a bit shinier. So that is looking pretty sweet, although you can't see much of it. You can see quite a bit of it there. But by the time we go in and throw on these two ductings, in you go. And that lovely engine cover, still inspected by Evanor. Well done, looking awesome. But yeah, now we really can't see much of the engine. Just that little cowling on the top there, which now sort of doesn't look like it matches that much. Still pretty good. Still quite happy with it. And then obviously if you drop down in here, you can just see a little splash of the colour. Not too much. Definitely from this side, I feel better than the other side. But there we go. It is what it is. Let's get it up in the air. Let's get the final bits of exhaust in, the gearbox in, the starter, and that lovely little drive shaft. In we go. Up we go. Let's get these exhausts in first because these look absolutely incredible. I love these exhaust pieces. They look insane. Let's get the gearbox in. I have done that one in a green. You can see it's a lot darker, but it does match that block pretty close. Not far off at all. A little bit shinier because of its, performance parts chrome surface. On you go. All of the bolts that I have forgotten about once again. In you go, in you go, in you go, in you go. There we go. Starter on the other side, obviously, because I was on one side. It's always going to be on the other. In that yellowy colour, looking pretty sweet there. And then just the drive shaft to go. I'll get this in. We'll get some wheels done. Get all the liquids topped up, and we'll get this car outside in the sun. Here she is then, all finished with that beautiful Aston Martin Vantage, looking absolutely incredible in the racing green with the yellow/green stripe mirrors and a little bit of detailing on that rear diffuser. Looking absolutely incredible, and it all matches the interior. You've got that same colour in there as well, looking great. Then it also matches the engine. You've got that colour in there as well, and on the suspension. Really loving this one. I think it looks absolutely incredible. What do you guys think? Do let me know in the comments below. Let's talk about these wheels. Now, obviously, I kept with the Vantage rims, although I have changed the sizes a little bit and changed the colour. Put them in a pearl black to go with our pearl grey on bodywork there. Looking lovely. And you can see our yellow brake calipers just poking through there. Looking fantastic. These front rims here, they are 22-inch, bigger than comes on it. They come with 20s. I've increased it to a 22. Kept the width the same, though, at 255 width there. And I've just brought the profile down to 30. So that's 255 width, 30 profile on a 22-inch rim to get it fit like that with these slick tyres. Down at the back, same size as a 22-inch rim, but they are 295 width. With a 25 profile down here at the back. Still quite a nice size, again, on slick tyres. That's a 22-inch rim, 295 width, 25 profile on there. I think that looks really good. I was tempted with the green or even the yellow, but I think just in black really finishes this car off quite nicely. But let's jump inside and see what the Vantage twin-turbo V8 sounds like, as well as checking out this beautiful interior. I love the fact that this matches all the bodywork on the outside. Absolutely fantastic. Beautiful interior as well. It's looking lovely. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of automatics, but they are what they are. Let's get this one started and see what she sounds like. Very, very similar to the DBX on the tick over. Let's give it some gas. Still got that beautiful turbo whistle though. I absolutely love it. Plus going up through, this engine sounds pretty good. I quite like it. Very nice sounding engine. I'm still undecided about the RX-7 or the rotary engines compared to this twin turbo V8. But let's get this one to the dyno and see what power we've got out of it today. Here we are then on the dyno with the Aston Martin Vantage and its twin turbo V8 engine. Absolutely insane. All the performance parts on it today. 503, I think that says, base horsepower from the factory. How much have we added? A gain of 521 horsepower, 104%, just over a whole engine on top, bringing our total measured power up to 1,024 horsepower. That is insane. Let's have a look at the gearbox tuning setup for today. Over we go. There she is. Now, I have noticed since the update to the tuning gearbox section that I covered in the first of the Aston Martin videos, these are pretty much set up once you put all the parts on now and you come here, it automatically goes in. All I've added is the 9th gear and played with this ever so slightly, and yet I can't get much more speed than I was getting before. So I think what they've done is they fixed the gearbox tuning setup so that it automatically goes to very close to the best setup. I mean, I couldn't get much more. I think my first run without changing anything apart from adding a gear was like 373. So let's go over to the track now and see if we can beat that 373 with some few tiny little adjustments. Here we are then on the speed track with the Aston Martin Vantage, looking absolutely insane. You can see my yellow brake calipers through them black wheels, looking so good. But let's see how fast we can get down this beautiful little airstrip. In we go. Let's go. Few manual gear shifts is what I'm going to use on this one today, just to stop us redlining too much and try and get a good speed. Haven't hit 400 kilometers an hour in any of these Astons, and I'm a little bit disappointed by that. So let's see where we end up today. Coming up, there's 300 kilometers an hour. Nice and easy. Can we get into the 350s? Maybe even higher. I know I had 373 originally. There's 350. I'm aiming to just beat that 373. I don't care how much by. 1, 2, 3. There we go. 375. I'm very, very happy with that from the Vantage. 375 kilometers an hour from the Aston Martin Vantage. Puts it 73rd in the speederboard, which isn't bad, but I am disappointed I didn't get a single one of these Aston Martins over the 400 kilometer an hour mark. I definitely thought that would have happened. Loving this one, though, in that British Racing green with the lime green / yellow on the top. Carried on throughout the suspension and the engine. Looking insane. It's also on the interior. I didn't pick that. That is just the way it comes. Looking so good. I am very, very pleased with this one. But we do need to jump into some facts and figures about this one. I bought the car for $93,865. And if you stuck around for long enough, you would have saw I already could profit 24,002 credits from this one before we even started. But since then, I have spent another 74,140 on this beautiful Vantage, putting our total spend at 168,005 credits. But the real question is, can we make a profit from this beautiful Vantage? Let's jump in and take a look. In we go. Just under 30,000 kilometers on there. Not too bad at all. Got it from the auction house. All 100% finished off with a newly acquired 1,024 horsepower twin turbo V8. Loving that. Absolutely insane. Definitely thought it would have been a little bit faster though. Can we make a profit? Let's have a look. Yes, and quite a bit. Sale price of 294,125. Take away our 168,005 credits. Leaves us with a profit of 126,120, which is pretty good. I'm very pleased with that, but we do have to say goodbye to this beautiful Vantage. So off you go. A nice little profit, way above the 21 million mark now, almost to 21.5. What have we got up next now that we've finished all of the DLCs from the Aston Martins? What are we going to work on next? Well, there is a couple of mods I still haven't got round to yet, so it is time to tick some off the list. Starting with this beautiful Dodge Grand Caravan. Yes, Grand Caravan. This is the Demon Edition. This was modded in very, very ages ago, very long time ago, by the lovely Payne. What a wonderful job. It looks fantastic. It's in pretty good condition, if I'm being honest. Did we get ripped off? Yes, of course we did, because it's me. 28,180 is what I paid for this one. Could sell it for 23,051, losing out on a little over 5,000. Not too bad, though. I'm really excited for this one. It does have a beast of a supercharged V8 in there. It looks absolutely incredible. We're obviously going to be putting performance parts on that. Can we make this one faster than any of the Aston Martins? Specifically the Vantage, which was the quickest. You will have to tune in next time to find out, to watch this beautiful episode. This will be on Friday. Don't forget to come and join us on Discord. Take part in the competition. We're building the 64.5 to the 66 year Ford Mustang. Again, modded in by Payne. Seems to be a lot coming in from Payne a lot at the moment. I've got some exciting builds coming up for that one, which I'm looking forward to sharing with you. But I do want to see yours as well. There's some awesome builds in there so far. So come and join us. Discord link in the description below. Have a good time with that. See if you can make an awesome looking car. Liveries are a bit hard because there's no template at the moment, but you can still make awesome configs. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Hope you had a wonderful day. And as always, I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.